there a chance for the Rams to salvage their season, or did the 49ers bounce back at just the right time?
When it comes to the Rams, I'm very shaky when it comes to them for the rest of the year, just because, Kev, let's be honest. This is not the same team from last year. This team looks exactly like the antithesis of this Super Bowl team that they had just a year ago. And I had decent expectations when it came to the Rams this year. I think if I remember correctly, Kev, we had them going to the Super Bowl. That was our pick to come out of the NFC. And, we're 8 weeks into the season. I don't think it's going to happen because let's face it, when we look at the landscape of the NFC West right now, I mean, Seattle's at the top, which is just absolutely insane. I don't think anybody expected that 8 weeks into the season. And then everybody else is kind of middle of the pack. And the same kind of goes with the Rams here. I mean, the Cardinals and the Rams and the 49ers all kind of have like a very similar record, with them maybe being separated by like 1 or 2 wins at the most. But with the Rams, they just can't get anything consistently on the offensive side of the ball. And it's very simple, Kev. They can't protect Stafford. He's one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league. And not only that, it doesn't even just come to just sacks solely. Like, all the defense needs to get against the Rams is just bring the pressure. Bring the pressure, bring the hurries, and you're going to force Matt Stafford to either throw the ball away, or he has to throw a pass that could be like a 50-50 ball that could either get picked off or it could get very nearly intercepted. And that's really where the issues have lied with the Rams. Not only that, they can't run the ball effectively because their offensive line can't open up run lanes for their run game. So when it comes to their offense, they're in real trouble. They kind of have a very similar issue when it comes to the Bucs, just because the Buccaneers can't protect Tom. They can't open up run lanes for Leonard Fournette. You could pretty much apply the same standard or the same issues to the Rams here, because there's a lot of similarities between both the Rams offense and the Bucs offense. And you could tell that the Rams defense, they have to play on their heels, just because more than likely the Rams are going to have to either punt it, and they could work with a limited field, just because the team that they're going up against, their offense has a limited field to work with, so they have decent opportunities to score. And I think by and large, I think the way that the offense is playing, I think it's having a domino effect, because I just don't think that the defense has the confidence to go out there every single drive to try to stop the opposing offense, because they know that the Rams offense, with Matt Stafford leading the way, can't get it done. So the Rams are in real trouble. Now let's kick it to the 49ers. The 49ers needed this win. The last 2 weeks for them had been very shaky. They lost to the Falcons, and then they had a very shaky performance. Kev, who did the 49ers play last week? I'm just drawing a blank in my head right now.
The 49ers last week played hold on, I just had it and I closed it by accident. The 49ers just played the Chiefs last week.
And they got smoked. They lost by
Absolutely
3 touchdowns.
Smoked.
I mean, what was it? 44-23.
Yep.
And in the second half, they got absolutely obliterated, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they definitely needed a step back, or they definitely needed a game to kind of get back into rhythm. And I really do think that happened, because when I look at Christian McCaffrey, man, he was all over the field today. The Rams had no answer for him, because he threw for a touchdown, he ran for a touchdown, and he had a touchdown reception on top of it. Kev, I think that's the first time, you were telling me this before we started recording, that's the first player to do that since LaDainian Tomlinson back probably in the 2000s, correct?
2005.
So it definitely seems like Christian's definitely got a little bit more comfortable into the flow of the game, or the flow of the offense. And mind you, he's only been there for 2 weeks. So he's probably still behind the 8 ball when it comes to their playbook. But the fact that he was integrated that well into the playbook and the game plan against the Rams, that's definitely a good sign for the 49ers. Other than that, I thought their defense was stifling. They were able to essentially, like you said, Kev, shut out the Rams in the second half. And, you combine that with what the 49ers were able to do in the second half. I mean, it pretty much pitched a perfect second half as far as I see it. The offense scored 21 points. They were able to bring effective pass rushes against Matt Stafford. That's a winning formula for them. I would say, though, that the 49ers definitely have some catching up to do, because, like I said, the Seahawks are still a couple games ahead of them, and the 49ers are sitting at a 4-4 record, which is a little bit disappointing for them about halfway through the season. I think that they should be at least like a 5-3 record or a 6-2 record, but they still have the second half of the season to be able to pull something off and get on a consistent winning streak here. But I think they're in a good position right now. They just have to be able to maintain it and just build off the win against the Rams. But overall, I think the 49ers are definitely in more of an advantageous situation to win football games. But I think the Rams are in trouble. They got to show me something over the next couple of weeks, or they're potentially going to miss the playoffs.
I think the Rams are chalked, bro. There's not really much I can say about it. Obviously, at the end of the day, I know that they had the lead at half, but I'm looking at this sheet and I'm saying once again, it seems to be a reoccurring thing with high-powered offenses and heavy pass schemes. They don't run the football well. They have no protection. It's like I'm repeating myself with a lot of these games because it's the same issue with teams that had success last season and in previous years. They had 56 yards on the ground. You were up at half. Why did you run it? Why did you abandon the run game? Why was this not utilized more to keep the ball away from San Francisco? And of course, to just be able to create play action for Cooper Kupp and your receivers. I look at the 49ers, and once again, for those of you that say I'm crazy, Jimmy had a great game. 21 of 25 with a passer rating of 132, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he was sacked 3 times. Christian McCaffrey goes off for 94 yards and throws a damn touchdown. Like, what are we talking about right now? We all know that the 49ers have the team chemistry, coaching, and the players to go out and win a Super Bowl. But they have these weeks where they just look on and off, and some recently have just been absolutely off. They bounce back against a division rival in the Rams, who just look beyond lost, especially being skunked in the second half. And then we're talking about the 49ers, and it's like now it's like they woke up. It's like they took a nap and they legitimately were like, oh yeah, we're pretty damn good. Like, this needs to be a reoccurring thing. This needs to be a consistency. They didn't even have Debo, and they won by 2 scores. 2 scores. Yeah, I was doing the math. I was like, technically 3 scores, but I can't understand the hate. I can't understand the inconsistencies. I'm not comprehending where there's a discrepancy that the 49ers are bad. They need to solidify this and take this win and like put pictures of the scoreboard on inside the locker rooms. They need to do something because there's no reason this team needs to be struggling as much as they have been. Thankfully, they were able to bounce back at the right time. And for the record's sake, Jimmy Garoppolo moves on to 8-0 against Sean McVay and the freaking Rams. So just add that to Jimmy's resume that people continue to tell me he's a bad quarterback, because at the end of the day, you don't beat one of the better teams over the course of the last couple of seasons as often as you do. And then you don't beat the defending Super Bowl champions twice in the next season. So just, letting people know Jimmy's not bad. It's just genuinely a lot of external circumstances